The first officer didn't realize anything was wrong until his brother was arrested for a crime he swore he'd buried years ago. By the time the second officer's wife lost everything, her charity exposed as a fraud, her name dragged through court records, it was already too late to stop what had begun. No one connected it to the young man who died at a gas station months earlier. They should have. The night Daniel Hargreeve buried his son, the rain fell hard enough to erase footprints. Reporters had crowded the cemetery that afternoon, their shoes tearing up the soft ground as they murmured words like incident and tragic misunderstanding. They spoke gently, as if tone alone could soften facts. By dusk, the rain washed the path clean, smoothing the earth as if nothing had disturbed it, just like the case file. Eli Hargreeve was 22 years old, a college junior, a delivery driver who worked nights to pay tuition and believed against evidence that decency was the default setting of the world. At 11:47 p.m., he stopped at a gas station off Route 9. His engine was still running when police cruisers screamed past, responding to a robbery call 2 blocks away. Wrong location. Wrong description, wrong conclusions. 3 officers approached. 7 seconds passed. 12 shots were fired. The report later called it an officer-involved shooting. Body cameras caught fragments, blurred movement, shouted commands overlapping each other, a weapon that turned out not to exist. An internal review cleared the officers in 9 weeks. Eli wasn't killed because he was black. That truth didn't comfort Daniel. It haunted him, because it meant his son died for something even more terrifying. Randomness, a momentary alignment of fear, authority, and convenience. Daniel Hargreeve was an accountant. He believed in balance, in systems, in the idea that if you followed the rules closely enough, outcomes would eventually make sense. After Eli's death, Daniel followed every rule. He filed complaints. He attended hearings that smelled of stale coffee and resignation. He listened as prosecutors explained legal thresholds with voices practiced in sympathy. He learned phrases that sounded official but meant nothing. Insufficient evidence, reasonable fear, no criminal intent. The officers returned to duty. One bought a boat and posted photos online. Another took his family on vacation. The third coached his daughter's softball team. Daniel noticed all of it. Accountants always notice. The vow didn't come in a burst of rage. It came quietly one evening as Daniel sat alone in Eli's room sorting unopened mail. Tuition statements, credit card offers, a future that no longer had a recipient. That was when he understood the truth. The system hadn't failed. It had worked exactly as designed. Justice wasn't broken, it was selective. And if the balance would not be corrected by institutions, Daniel would correct it himself. He didn't start with the officers. That would have been too obvious, too easy to dismiss as grief-fueled revenge. Instead, Daniel studied the lives around them, the support structures that made them feel safe, untouchable. A brother whose business thrived on quiet fraud. A retired father with secrets buried beneath commendations. A spouse whose public goodwill concealed private crimes. Daniel didn't hurt them physically. He didn't need to. Truth, released at the right time, was far more destructive. Careers collapsed, arrests followed, reputations burned beyond repair. The officers felt it before they understood it. Their worlds began to narrow. Friends stopped calling. Doors quietly closed. They started looking over their shoulders. Good. The first officer died 6 months later. A single car crash on an empty road. No witnesses, no evidence of interference. Tragic. Inconclusive. The second died a year after that, found alone, the official ruling accidental. The third lived the longest. Daniel wanted him to. He wanted him to have time to connect the dots. When authorities finally arrested Daniel, it wasn't because he slipped, it was because he was done. He surrendered without resistance, hands folded neatly, expression calm. In court, the prosecutor called him a vigilante. The defense called him a grieving father. Daniel offered no label. When asked why he did it, he answered softly, "Because the ledger never balanced." Daniel Hargreeve was sentenced to life. In prison, he kept the same habits: early mornings, careful routines, quiet observation. He never spoke his son's name. But sometimes, when rain tapped against the narrow windows just right, Daniel slept without dreams. And for the first time since a random night at a gas station, the world felt balanced again.